Yeah.
Hey boys, it's Compatibility here, and for today's video, welcome back to another Nintendo discussion video where we're going to be discussing about the Switch model, the Switch Lite, and the OLED model that was recently announced by Nintendo. From what I can tell from the reactions, there were like a different sort of point of view and perspective of what everyone thinks about the OLED model. Everyone thinks that this should have been, maybe I guess you can say, considered to be the Switch Pro, and some think that this is not the Switch Pro they wanted. Well, in my opinion, I do think that this is basically just a Nintendo Switch with upgraded features, but really, I discussed those in one of my videos when I first covered this whole model thing. But if you guys are wondering which Switch you might be getting, because if you guys are still hesitant of what you're going to get, then in this video, I'm going to be showing off the differences according to Nintendo themselves, who compared each features from all three Switch models and everything else regarding about it, and to see if you guys think that either of these one of these consoles would be good for your purchase. And really, this is only for those who still haven't gotten a Switch yet. If you guys have, you know, like a Switch Lite, or I don't know, like the OG's Nintendo Switch since like 2017, then I highly recommend you just get out of the video, and that's just about it if you guys already have a Nintendo Switch. But for those who doesn't have a Switch yet and are considering what you want to get, well, welcome to this video, as I'm going to be comparing to all three of these consoles. So let's just get started. So right here in the official Nintendo website, where they compared each three features on all three consoles of all Switch models. So, and now, as you can see, we got all three Switch models, such as the Nintendo Switch itself, the Nintendo Switch Lite, and the Switch OLED model. Right here, you can see what play modes they can only handle. For the Switch and the OLED model, they both can handle the tabletop mode, TV mode, and especially handheld mode. But for the Nintendo Switch Lite, it turns out that this is only going to be a handheld mode only. But for the price itself, for the Nintendo Switch itself that came out in 2017, it is cost at about $300, about $299.99. For the Nintendo Switch Lite model that came out back in 2019, it's about $100 less than the original price, which is about $199.99 or $200. And then for the OLED model, since it doesn't come out yet until October, it is $50 more than the original pricing, which is $350. Or maybe $349.99. So that's pretty much more high price than the original Switch. So really, I'm not entirely sure how to feel about that. Maybe they should have, like, I guess I don't know, like, put $20 more. I don't know about pricing, but all I can say is that $50 more for the OLED model is a bit much in my opinion. But then next up, we do get to see the compatible games. For both Nintendo Switch, for the OG from 2017, and the OLED model, both of them all support Nintendo Switch games. And I mean all of them, that includes the ones that is compatible to Joy-Cons like Super Mario Party and all. But what I find interesting is that if you look right here in the OLED model comparison, it does have 2 stars in the words all Nintendo Switch games. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Maybe that means that there could be OLED exclusive games, but then again, that could possibly just be for, I guess, the upcoming Switch Pro that has been rumored. But then again, given out all the rumors that has been going on with the Switch Pro, I guarantee you that, in my opinion, I don't think it's gonna happen at this point. But we'll just have to wait and see. But all I can say is this, that maybe they could possibly give out exclusive OLED Nintendo Switch games, just like what they did with the Nintendo 3DS XL, like Xenoblade Chronicles X and Minecraft. But for the Switch Lite, though, it can only support games that are handheld mode. And the easiest way to tell that is that if you look at the back of the box, you can actually tell which games are going to be compatible to handheld mode, depending whether it shows the handheld picture or Joy-Cons and all. That's how you can tell that these games are going to be, like, you know, pretty much compatible to handheld mode. But if you guys are playing games like Super Mario Party or 1-2 Switch, then you have to buy extra Joy-Cons, which is about like $80 from what I remembered. And speaking of Joy-Cons, both Switch and Switch OLED will both be supporting all Joy-Cons that also has HD rumble and IR motion camera, while the Switch Lite doesn't. Like I stated, the Switch Lite can only be supported games that are handhelds, but if you guys are playing games like 1-2 Switch, then you have to buy Joy-Cons separately. Now here's the interesting part about the switches itself. For example, the OG Switch does have a compatible dock with the Nintendo Switch dock that has an HDMI cable, and it can also allow to put a video output to the TV. The Switch Lite, though, obviously it does not support anything like a kickstand or HDMI cable, but the Switch OLED model, as it was shown in the announcement trailer, it does allow an HDMI cable and especially a video output for the TV, but it also has a built-in LAN wire port, which I do hear that it has some sort of issues when it comes to the wireless or something like that. I don't know, but I hear this was a huge big deal now. But from what I hear about a couple days ago, from what I hear from a few Nintendo news updates, it turns out that the dock for the OLED model is pretty comparable and compatible to different. I'm not entirely sure what the story is about, but I will soon cover it as soon as possible. Next up are its dimensions. For the Nintendo Switch, it is about 4 feet high, 9.4 feet long, and 55 inches deep with the Joy-Cons attached. For the Switch Lite, it is about 3.6 inches high and 8.2 inches long and 85 inches deep. I'm sorry if I don't get it, because I pretty much okay, I'm sorry if I did not. I can't tell whether or not that's supposed to be inches or feet. I'm not entirely sure. But then there's the OLED model, which is 4 feet high, 9.5 feet long, and 55 feet deep with the Joy-Cons attached. With its weight, though, for the Switch OLED, it is approximately 93 pounds with the Joy-Cons attached. For the Switch from 2017, approximately 88 pounds with the Joy-Cons attached. And for the Switch Lite, approximately 61 pounds. And then for the screen itself, for the original Nintendo Switch, 6.2 inches for the LCD touchscreen, and for the Switch Lite, 5.5 LCD touchscreen. But then for the Switch OLED, just by the name itself, it is obviously going to have a 7.0 inch OLED touchscreen or 6.7 inch screen wide if you guys are playing it either tabletop mode and all. And then for the storage itself, both the OG and the Switch Lite both have 32 gigabyte storage, but the OLED has doubled it up with 64 gigabyte storage. And then for the battery life, now this is something that fans have an issue with the battery life, because for the original Switch, it's 4.5 to 9 hours, or depending on games like, you know, when you play 5.5 hours on Breath of the Wild. But then for the Switch Lite, it's 3 to 7 hours with the battery life. But then the Switch OLED model, it's the same thing, which is 4.5 to 9 hours. The thing is, from what I remember, the Switch, for my Switch, because I think I had the Switch that came out in 2017, it turns out that it only lasts for like an hour or 1 to 3 hours or so. But for this one, I think this is mostly focusing on the Nintendo Switch that was like the version 2, that came out like back in 2020 and all. But then, that's just about it. These are all the comparisons that I've shown up on all 3 Switch models. Now, which Switch model do I honestly recommend to you guys for those who doesn't have the hardware yet? Well, let me tell you this, if you guys still have the Nintendo Switch to this very day that came out in 2017, then you don't have to buy it for yourself. But if you guys are only playing games that are in handheld mode, then the Switch Lite is for you. But for those who doesn't have a Switch yet, even to this very day, and you're hesitant on what you're going to buy since the Switch OLED model was announced, then the Switch OLED model would pretty much be a perfect case. Or if you guys want, you can just buy a regular Nintendo Switch instead. That's just how I feel about it. I still got my Nintendo Switch since like 2018 and all, so I really don't need to upgrade it personally. But I want to know all your opinions down below of what you guys think of this. What do you guys think? Are you guys planning to buy either all 3 consoles, or if you guys want to buy one of them separately, whether it's the OLED model, the one that came out back in 2017, or the handheld version? I want to know all your opinions down below. And so with that, leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more videos, follow my Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time. And remember this, once a legend, always a legend.
Like a Hellcat.